Welcome to Garibaldi Lake.
Welcome to an epic adventure through one of British Columbia's most stunning landscapes. Today we're tackling the Garibaldi Lake Trail, hiking our way through the lush forests, Alpine Meadows and breathtaking views, all the way to the crystal clear waters of Garibaldi Lake. And that's not all. Tonight we're setting up camp at the Lakeside Garibaldi Lake Campground for the full wilderness experience to sleep with the bears. So lace up your boots and join me as we explore this hiking gem. I'm Hamo, and officially I've retired from hiking, but just like Tony Cruz for Euro 2024, I couldn't resist another shot at it, so I'm hiking to get another stunning view to add to my collection. I'm not the best hiker and I curse every minute of the uphill trail, but I live for the downhill parts and the views at the top. So I fought my way through and got to Garibaldi Lake, and let's go on the journey. We have a super early start in the morning with a 5 AM alarm call, ready for a 5:45 AM pickup for the hour journey to the parking lot, which is the beginning of the trail. And sunrise on the Sea to Sky Highway is utterly magical, and as you can see, we get some unreal views along the way. It's made even better by dipping into a French press coffee. When we arrived at the parking lot, it was already busy, so if you're planning to hike this trail, be sure to get there early and be ready to queue for the toilet.
Right, today we are hiking the Garibaldi Lake and we're going up to the lake and maybe Panorama Ridge. We'll see how we feel when we get to the top. 9 Ks up to the lake, lunch break, way up, let's go.
Here's some information about the trail. This is a 9-kilometer hike one way with a 900 meters climb elevation, but most of that climb is in the first 6K. The trail is not technical and it steadily inclines for the first 6 kilometers with little respite, but at least it's not difficult on the legs, with no big steps to navigate or rocks to climb. People do hike to Garibaldi Lake and back in one day, which is 18 kilometers, but we decided against that and took our tent with us. If you opt in for this camping option at the campground, you must book this 4 months in advance to the day at 7 AM because they book out seriously quickly. So you have to be ready because it's absolutely ruthless. Head to the BC Parks website for more information. If you only want to hike for a day, you must get your day pass 2 days before. Our backpacks weigh about 10 kilograms and it includes a tent, sleeping bag, roll mat, packaged food, clothes, water and some tech.
Okay, we're about a quarter of the way in, approaching the first hour. A bit shorter than that actually. The legs are burning slightly. It's been a constant incline, but not too bad. Not Lang Tang levels. But my key advice for any hike, if it's slightly difficult, get through the first hour. Your legs need to get used to it, and also your breathing needs to get good. But I'm enjoying the views. A lot of forest, a lot of wood, and as you can tell, breathing slightly heavy. That's okay. Three and a half K in, over halfway of the hard part. I said a quarter last time, because the first 6Ks are uphill basically, and then it tailors off for the last 3K to the campsite. Feeling okay. The hip is going again. I have to get that sorted. Physio, here I come. But thorough enjoying the walk was not too intense. Up and down, pretty cool. Looking forward to the next bit. But a devastating revelation. I forgot my cold bottle of Coke. It's at home in the fridge. Can't believe it. Best drink in the world. Not paid to say that, of course, but it is there, isn't it?
The trail roams through the forests and I feel like I'm on a constant forest bathing trip, but it's absolutely awesome to be back in nature. We made good progress and stopped each kilometre or two to rest the legs, but unfortunately my hips started to hurt again at the 3-kilometre point. When you get to the Garibaldi campground, you have 2 hikes available for extras. One is Black Tusk and one is Panorama Ridge for an elevated view of the Garibaldi Lake. At the start of the hike I was up for Panorama Ridge, but with my hip hurting at kilometre 3, I pretty much gave it up and ruled it out pretty early on, but to be fair, I'm slightly concerned about going back down. We finally made it to the 6k point where the trail splits to various campgrounds and where people take a break. For this hike, you'll need to carry everything you need as there are no facilities at the top, not even drinking water, so you will need a water bottle with a filter so you can drink from the lake.
We have reached the 6k mark. Not too bad in the end. I'd say it's moderate to hard. Distance, it just constantly goes up. My hip has given me a bit of jip again, so it made it hard. Quite a lot of people here actually, chilling out at 6k mark. Now it's 3k to the campground. Not much elevation here, we're just going to walk fairly level to the campground. I'm looking forward to seeing some views. You can sort of see in that direction a bit of sun, a bit of blue sky in there as well. It's a beautiful day, looking forward to it. So 3k's to go, and I can't wait to get to the lake.
Now the terrain changes slightly as we enter into the Alpine Meadows with stunning views of the lakes ahead. The trees start to break too with sunshine poking through at points. Great to see some water as well.
How you doing? Glimpse.
And you can't beat a little waterfall and a bridge, can you? Just like that, there she is, Garibaldi Lake. In normal times, you can walk around the lake to the campground, but there has been a lot of water this season, so we had to climb some rocks for another 20 minutes on an alternative route. That was an absolute killer. But look at the colour of the water, my word. We have made it to the Garibaldi campground. 9.5 k's in, a bit annoying. Normally when you get to the lake, you can walk along the front and find your slot to put your tent up, so to go up and then down. It was an absolute killer climbing on rocks, but hey, we've made it. I'm looking forward to seeing the views. I'm gonna show you some views next. And this lake is so turquoise, dearie me. That is unreal. Classic Canada, I think, if you come to look at lakes. But I'm just taking 5 minutes. Those guys are going to look around to find a campsite, and I'm going to sit here, chill, reflect, and kind of look forward to this afternoon. I'm going to be lazing by that lake with a cup of coffee. Yes, cup of coffee, and just reflecting, reading a book. Cheers. This is bear country, and you're not allowed anything with a scent like food or spray in your tent at night. So you need to grab a bag and hoist it up this contraption every day. Time to pitch up that tent, eat lunch, and rule out any more hiking. We found this awesome little bench by the lake, and look at this place. Stunning. Welcome to Garibaldi Lake. We are desperate for a coffee, so I'm making a JavaBeans coffee called Philby from Norfolk in England. Final Press kindly sent me their new French press design to review and try, so let's give it a go. Thanks to Final Press for sending me this in the post. It's a little French press coffee thing here. Coffee is in that, and I'm about to pour it in and have a cuppa right by Garibaldi Lake. There's worse places to have a cup of coffee. Anyway, let's do it. This goes in the cup. Oh. Who wants to pour it in? Yeah. Put that there for you. Yep, that stays in there. Water goes in. All the way to the top. Yep, and then you're going to swish this around for 20 times. I'm not counting here, so about 8, 9, 10 maybe. I reckon that's about 20. And then we'll let that sit for 2 minutes. Alright, 2 minutes is up, so just going to swish it around 20 times. It's looking good. It's exciting YouTube, this, isn't it? Watching me stir a cup. That feels 20 times. And what you do now, you plunge this little gold bit here down a few times. 3 or 4. One for luck. Let's have a cup of coffee. Take that out. Right, as well as Final Press, JavaBean sent me some coffee to try. These are coffee roasters in Norfolk in England. So we've got the Philby, which is a place in Norfolk, and it's the espresso coffee blend. It's a bold blend of specialty Brazilian, Colombian and Indian beans, so this will be good. Strong and smooth. There we go. Oh yeah, that's well nice. Oh. The French press was super easy to use, very efficient and reliable. Thanks Final Press for sending me your new design. I cannot recommend it enough. If you want to buy one, check out the show notes for a link. Any purchase helps this channel grow. The coffee also tasted amazing, and JavaBeans are now a favourite of mine. I cannot wait to drink more soon. Thanks to Lester and Angie for sending me your awesome coffee and for aiding my recovery from the hike. What a dream place to have a cup of coffee. Check these guys out, they're called JavaBean. It's time for a dip to get that fresh glacier water on my legs and my hip. Thought I'd check in. We just had a nice 2 or 3 hours down by the lake, dipped in, refreshing, but enjoyed it and needed and cooled off, I think. Yeah, it's been alright, isn't it? But I'm knackered, I'm done in. There's no way I could have done Panorama Ridge today. Absolutely no chance. No. So lesson learned this time is next time we need to get 2 nights if possible. Tough in Canada, you can't book anything on the whim. You have to get organised, get a reservation in time. We booked this one 4 months in advance on the dot. So yeah, but very nice afternoon. It's hot, it's warm, 25, 26 degrees. Water's cold, the lake is so turquoise, it's unreal. But yeah, loving it. And we've got this tent to sleep in tonight. Now it's time for card games and an incredible sunset.
Either the top card from the draw pile or the top card. You thought it was real.
I wasn't up in time for sunrise next morning, but I made it up about 20 minutes later, and look at this, so serene. I cannot get enough of this view. Just up next morning, aching quite badly, but not horrendous. But look at this. Sun is just over the mountain there, right by the glacier. Serene, calm, blue. Look at this, look. Dreamy Canada. I'm just going to show you some more content to show you more of this amazing Garibaldi Lake in the morning. And I can't wait to sit there with my coffee and gaze at it even more. A sneak peek into our tent and site from last night.
We have packed up all the tents and all of the gear into our bags and we're ready to head off in about 20 minutes. It's going to take 3.5 to 4 hours to get down to where we started yesterday. But I'm looking forward to getting into the trees again, but also getting to the car park and getting to Squamish. Absolutely bring it on. Had some interesting scrambled eggs this morning for breakfast. They were, yeah, interesting. But looking forward to some proper food and a couch.
One last look before we climb up the rocks and ultimately back to the trail from yesterday. Another stunning day, and this is now the reverse of yesterday, so we're heading downhill and I'm all about downhill life.
We're almost at the bottom. It's been a nice little stroll down the hill. The only blight on the walk was a wasp stinging me. Never been stung by a wasp before last year, now 2 in 2 years. What's that about? Anyway, dealt with that. We're now walking, gonna get down, have a washroom break, and then we're gonna pop to Squamish, which is about halfway back to Vancouver, and we're getting ice cream, a cake from Purebred, and potentially even a pizza. Nothing can be ruled out. We're all knackered. It'll be about 20 Ks in total when we get down there. But what a beautiful day. Blue skies again today. Great views this morning. And the same as yesterday, going through the woods. Coming through here. Yeah, not too bad. I'm not too bad downhill. Not as emotional about it. But yeah, the hip still needs to be sorted out. Forest bathing, can you even beat it? Not sure, you know.
After walking nearly 20 kilometres over 2 days, we are back at the parking lot. I need a comfy seat and BBC Sport. What a journey and hike. Naturally, we are ravenous on the way back, so we went to Squamish for some much needed ice cream. My reflections are quite surprising. I would 100% do this again, and I don't usually do hikes for a second time because I know what's coming, but this one is different. The Panorama Ridge is potentially too epic to miss next year, so I want to book 2 nights at this campsite so we can hike up in one day, stay a night, hike up to Panorama Ridge the next day, come back down, chill out for sunset, and then walk back the next day, and I need those stunning views. I also thought the hike wasn't that difficult. I don't say that lightly as I'm not a good hiker, but the uphill portion is constant but steady. Luckily, no bears are sighted on this hike, but you must also be prepared in case you do see some. To finish, what stunning views. Canada is the best place in the world for lakes. Their colour gets me every time, and they're always so clean, serene and peaceful. What a great way to relax, recalibrate and take stock. I'll never take that for granted. See you next year, Garibaldi Lake. Please follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel today, and let's go and see the world. Cheers, Hamo.